Welcome back to Hollywood Buzzing, where we look at the stories behind the stars and uncover the surprising realities that often get lost under the shine of fame. Today we're exploring a side of Elizabeth Montgomery that most viewers of her classic sitcom era never expected. You may know her as the charming and clever Samantha from Bewitched, the witch with the iconic nose twitch that became part of television history. She was warm, graceful, and the picture of mid-century TV perfection. But behind that lovable character was a woman far more layered, confident, and expressive than the roles she played. Recently, a wave of online discussions sparked after a set of alleged private images, said to show Elizabeth in bold, revealing attire, began circulating through fan forums and social media pages. Whether these photos were part of a personal shoot, an artistic project, or simply misattributed material remains unclear, but the chatter surrounding them opened a fascinating conversation about identity, privacy, and the expectations placed on actresses of her time. What truly caught people's attention wasn't the clothing, or lack of it, but the contrast between the public image audiences held onto and the possibility of a far more liberated individual behind the scenes. Elizabeth Montgomery was born into a show business family and grew up surrounded by scripts, cameras, and studio expectations. By the time she stepped into the role of Samantha Stevens in the 1960s, the television landscape had strict rules, especially for women. Actresses were shaped, polished, and carefully packaged into personas that executives believed audiences wanted. Samantha, the gentle, ideal suburban wife with magical charm, became etched into public consciousness, and for many viewers, that character became inseparable from the actress herself. So when rumors of daring personal photos began trending online decades later, some fans reacted with disbelief. But the truth is, nothing about those discussions changes who Elizabeth Montgomery was, a real person with her own thoughts, choices, and sides of herself the public never fully saw. And if she ever chose to express herself in a way that didn't match her on-screen image, that wouldn't be scandalous. It would be human. What makes this conversation so interesting is what it reveals about us, not just about her. It shows how audiences often lock celebrities into one role, one mood, one version of themselves, and forget that stars are people navigating life just like anyone else. It also highlights how much pressure actresses faced during the mid-20th century to appear wholesome, controlled, and endlessly perfect. Any expression outside the approved Hollywood script was quietly tucked away. Elizabeth Montgomery, however, was no stranger to pushing quietly against boundaries. Beyond acting, she supported causes she believed in, spoke up for issues often ignored, and never seemed afraid to carve out a life on her own terms. The idea that she may have been more daring or expressive behind the scenes only adds depth to her story, rather than taking anything away. In the end, whether the photos circulating today are authentic, misinterpreted, or simply part of online exaggeration, the real lesson is about respecting privacy and recognizing that icons are never just the characters they play. They have chapters the public never reads, choices the audience never sees, and identities that go far beyond a single role. If this look at Elizabeth Montgomery's more complex human side gave you something new to think about, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Hollywood Buzzing for more stories that reveal the layers behind the legends.